All right, hello, Austin. We're back. Astronomy in the news. I am Astrobit.
I am Major Merger.
I finally have a new partner up here. Thank you, Major Merger.
My first time.
All right, it is time for Astronomy in the news.
Real quick, be easy. Pointer? Laser pointer?
One of them, I think.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah. All right.
There we go.
Cool. All right. So, a dark matter galaxy has been discovered in the Coma cluster, a grouping of over 1,000 galaxies located about 300 million light years from Earth. Peter Van Dokkum, seen here, and colleagues noticed that the cluster contains several very faint galaxies, including one they're calling Dragonfly 44, shown here. Dragonfly 44 is unusual in that it has about the same mass as our own Milky Way, equivalent to about 1 trillion suns, but only has the light about 1 million, or about 1% of the number of stars in the Milky Way. This suggests that Dragonfly 44 is 99.99% dark matter, which is very spooky.
Which I'll be talking about in about 10 minutes.
So while it's unknown why Dragonfly 44 has so very few stars, some possible explanations are that the gas and dust required to form these stars have been stripped away by encounters with other galaxies in the cluster, or it's possible that highly energetic events like a series of supernovae or quasar could have blown the dust before more stars were able to form.
All right, one of our biggest news stories for this month, many of you are probably already about this, the ESA Gaia mission has released its first data results. It's given us the position of 1 billion stars, that's 9 zeros, 1 billion stars in our galaxy, and distances to over 2 million of those stars. Prior to Gaia, the Hipparcos satellite, this was in the 1990s, had given us the positions of only 2 million stars and the distance to about 100,000 stars. So we have multiplied our knowledge of our galaxy about 1,000 times just in the last 2 years, basically. The Gaia satellite is still imaging the sky. It's going to provide further information. We expect more information about those billion stars, distances to about an additional 20 million stars or so. Gaia is also going to be finding a lot more exoplanets, so keep posted. This is very exciting news. More data will be coming out in the next couple of years.
So, I'm glad y'all like this one. So, there's not too much science here, but it seems appropriate considering the talk we just heard from MC High Z. So 2 nebulae imaged by the NASA Spitzer Space Telescope bear a vague resemblance to the enterprises of Star Trek and Star Trek Next Generation, and I admire anyone's creative vision who can see that. These images were released on September 8th in honor of the 50th anniversary of the airing of the original Star Trek. And these nebulae are regions where new stars are forming, and perhaps places where alien life will exist in the future. Hopefully not the Borg, though.
All right, another one of the really big stories this month. The nearest star to our sun, Proxima Centauri, there's a group that has discovered a potential planet within the habitable zone of that star. This group includes our own... I don't think his wife is here, so she can't claim that she's his tonight. Michael Indel of UT, we're really going to try to get him to come in and talk about this. Unfortunately, he's teaching a class this semester, and his schedule isn't going to permit it. But around the star nearest to our sun, Proxima Centauri, there's a planet that's orbiting it. It's potentially kind of Earth-like. It is near enough the star that there might be liquid water and the possibility for life on this planet. Proxima Centauri is a lot smaller than our own sun. There's an image on the kind of middle of the screen here that isn't very easy to see. On the left side, it shows the sun and Mercury's orbit out at the edge. We'll try to highlight. Here is Mercury's orbit, and there's the sun. The planet around Proxima Centauri b is in this green band here. So it's significantly closer to the star, but since Proxima Centauri is so much cooler than our own sun, it's being closer to the stars is better. The star within that, or the planet within that green zone, maybe possibly could be habited by life. It's going to be a while before we get there, though.
So NASA just announced that the red spot on Pluto's moon, Charon, may be in fact from Pluto's own atmosphere. So since Pluto is so small, it has trouble holding on to its atmosphere, which travels radially outward from the planet in all directions. And Charon's gravity is just strong enough to pull in a small percentage of that gas, and over billions of years, Pluto's atmosphere has frozen out onto Charon. So scientists found evidence that the methane from Pluto's atmosphere froze and radiation stripped its hydrogen to leave only the carbon behind. And the carbon then combined with other molecules to form larger, heavier fragments. And because they are carbon-rich, they produce the reddish color that we see here.
Okay, if you've been paying attention to the news, you might remember the Philae lander that landed on Comet 67P Churyumov. Thank you, Dr. Kemet. Philae lander was lost. It landed on the comet the first time we've ever landed on a planet. It was very, very, very exciting. But you might remember that we lost the probe within a couple of hours. It didn't quite land where we wanted it to land. We weren't quite sure what happened. We were pretty sure that it bounced up and then landed next to a boulder, and then maybe was in the shadow of the boulder, so it wasn't getting enough sunlight. Well, the Rosetta spacecraft that is orbiting that comet took some pictures. These pictures were taken from about 3 kilometers away from the planet. The Rosetta spacecraft is slowly spiraling inward. It's going to crash on the comet in the next couple of weeks, September 30th. Rosetta is not designed to be a lander. It's not necessarily going to survive the landing, but it might provide some interesting pictures. But one of the exciting things that it found is in this picture. I'm going to grab our laser pointer. Down in the corner right over here, it took a picture of this boulder, which is near where we were pretty sure what Philae's landing site was. Here's a blow-up of I guess that's the comet in general. But right down there, there's a thing that definitely looks like it has structure, and there it is. We found Philae. It is, in fact, in the shadow of a boulder. It is not going to come back alive again, unfortunately. Aww. But we found it, and it made it there, and this is an amazing, amazing accomplishment. All right. This is me. Okay. The other big news story that came out this month. Let me grab my notes here. The Ratan 600 radio telescope in Russia is part of SETI, looking for signals from extraterrestrial intelligences. They were passing, their antenna was looking at the star HD 164595, and sure enough, they found a gigantic signal! They found aliens! Oh no. Maybe not. So there was a lot of excitement about this. HD 164595 is about 94 light years from Earth. It is confirmed to have a Neptune-sized planet orbiting it. The planet, very big, very close into the star, means that Earth-sized planets at about our distance from it probably aren't going to get on very well and are probably going to get kicked out. On top of this is a complaint that a lot of us astronomers and scientists have. The methodology of reporting all of this to you. They came out with a press release and said, "We found aliens!" And all of us said, not yet. So there wasn't a whole lot of vetting of the story. And this is something that we want to really caution you guys about. And we really strive among our community to prevent this sort of thing from happening. But, exciting news comes out, and we want to talk about it. they put out this story before it really had much chance for the rest of our community to take a look at it. Since then, we figured out that probably what they were looking at was one of their own military satellites. So they found intelligence in Russia, which is good. But yes, unfortunately, no aliens yet. So keep posted. This signal probably isn't going anywhere, but hopefully SETI does find something, along the line sometime in the future. All right, that is all we have for Astronomy in the News tonight. I would like to thank again Major Merger for joining us. All right, and thank all of